On the list of fictional men that I am not normal about, Soshiro Hoshina from Kaiju number 8 sits proudly atop the list. So when I found out Kaiju number 8 was getting a game, I knew I had to try it out. And of course, I had to take you all along with me. This video will both be me discussing and explaining the game and mechanics, as well as my personal thoughts. You can see each section of the video with the chapters. Now, 2 disclaimers. This video was recorded by mirroring my iPhone to my MacBook, so it's not going to be perfect quality. If this video does well, I'll look into buying a capture card, or hopefully it'll be released on Steam so I can record on my PC. Additionally, this game's story begins essentially where the anime currently is. There are direct references to major plot events that have occurred in the season, and the current limited banner character is someone whose upgrade was revealed like 2 episodes ago. So this video will contain spoilers of currently released anime content and game content, obviously. But I won't discuss any spoilers from the manga, and I will try not to spoil much of the game story. With all that out of the way, let's get started. The game starts off after the events of episode 16. Isaho Shinomiya, the director of the Japanese Defense Force, was killed and absorbed by Kaiju number 9. With this, the story of the game follows what I would consider canon parallel. The original characters introduced in the game, a secret force known as Closer, with a Z, never appear in the manga or anime, but the story itself follows the plot of the canon timeline so far, and frankly could probably fit into canon since the events occur between the frequent short time skips within the canon material while the Defense Force trains for the next time Kaiju number 9 appears. Regardless, the first part of the game is the tutorial section. You play as Kafka and Kikuru while they handle a Kaiju mission. Kaiju number 8 is a turn-based game. From my community, think Honkai Star Rail. As a note, because I am primarily a Genshin and Honkai Star Rail player, and most of my subscribers are most familiar with those games, I'll be doing a lot of comparisons with playstyles, mechanics, or names of mechanics to their counterparts in Genshin or Star Rail. I'm sorry if you think that's annoying, but that's just how my brain works, so it is what it is. When battling, you have 3 types of moves: standard attack, combat skill, and ultimate. Your combat skill uses skill points, and you have a max of 6. However, by using your basic attack, you gain a skill point back. Every time you attack, you collect energy to charge your ultimate, but if you don't use your ultimate before the battle ends, the collected energy doesn't carry over, and you start again from 0 in the next battle. When I say battle, I mean the full operation. Many of these fights have multiple waves of enemies, but that is still considered, or at least I'm considering it, one battle. Additionally, since it's turn-based, both allies and enemies attack in a specific attack order. Increasing a character's speed can increase how many times they can attack per round, and activating their ultimate moves them to the front. Speaking of ultimates, some characters, like Kafka, will enter a different state when they activate their ultimate, in this case Kaiju number 8, which changes his attack and skill. His skill in this is my favorite. There's no other way to describe it besides just unironically aura farming. Where Kaiju number 8 differs from Honkai Star Rail the most, though, is how the story is told. Instead of being somewhat open world and allowing you to run around the map and interact with items or talk to NPCs, the story is told in a visual novel style, with both 3D renders of the characters on screen like a dialogue scene, as well as 2D visual novel sprites on screen for when a character is talking. There's no open world mechanic, at least not yet. I don't know if that'll come in the future, but I kind of doubt it. Another mechanic within the game is plates. Similar to Weakness Break in Star Rail, Kaijus have a plate that can be destroyed when attacked with matching attributes. You don't have to break plates to defeat enemies, but it will definitely make defeating them easier because when a plate is broken, the Kaiju enters a core exposed state, where they take increased attack damage and go to the back of the attack order. Plus, if you don't destroy a Kaiju's plate, they can eventually unleash an ultimate attack, which you obviously don't want happening. Additionally, each team of 4 is split into 2 units. Position 1 and 2 are a unit, as well as 3 and 4. When a character destroys a Kaiju's plate, the other member of their unit will perform a follow-up attack. There's 3 physical plates, corresponding to the weapon types each character uses, and 5 elemental plates. Some playable characters only have a physical attribute, some have both a physical and elemental. However, when it comes to Kaiju, some Kaiju will have universal plates, meaning their physical plates can be destroyed by any physical attribute, the elemental plate can be destroyed by any elemental attribute, or if they have a common plate, it can be destroyed by both physical and elemental attributes. That said, some Kaiju have plates that can only be destroyed by a specific physical or elemental attribute, so keep an eye on enemy attributes before entering a fight. Unlike regular Kaiju enemies, bosses, well, Honju, or named Kaiju I guess, have multiple HP bars, and you have to get through all of them to defeat it. Think of it like boss phases in Genshin or Star Rail. You gain both a free 4-star Kafka and Kikuru, but most importantly, by completing the first round of the tutorial, you unlock the gacha. With the free pull, you get a 4-star Soshiro Hoshina, which is truly the best part. Personally, I love the gacha animation for the game. Unfortunately though, you only get to do the one gacha pull for Soshiro before returning to the tutorial. There are 3 main character types within the game: attackers, support, and defenders. They are exactly what they sound like. Also, which I'm sure many of you were waiting for, after they introduce Soshiro, they also allow you to turn on auto battle. That said, considering the game's story is more visual novel-esque, I mostly turned auto on for the story and turned it off for the battles. That's just me though. Plus, the main plot is voiced by the actual Japanese voice actors, so I would never skip through that. How else will I get my Kaiju fix when the season ends? Without giving away the story, because you should definitely play, the main plot of the game is that dimensional gates are opening throughout Japan, and Kaiju, including previously defeated named Kaiju, are able to transport through the the gate. Enter Sagan Shinomiya, adopted elder daughter of the Shinomiyas, and someone Kikoru was told had died in a battle in America. Investigating and handling the dimensional gates is the entire mission of Closer, a secret international unit. Each story chapter so far has followed with a major dimensional gate opening, with each one bringing a previously defeated numbered kaiju. The story is a mix of battles and visual novel storytelling, and like I mentioned, is fully voiced, so I really enjoyed the story chapters. As for Closer, we've only met Sagan as well as Sudid, who's the operations director for Closer, and makes it very known she wants to dissect Kafka. The story itself primarily follows Kafka and Kikoru, who are assigned to accompany Closer for the time being alongside Sagan. We've also seen a lot of Soshido and a decent amount of Narumi, so I imagine as the story progresses, we'll continue to see the various main characters we already know within the Defense Force, as well as probably meet more members of Closer. They've already introduced Chester Lockburn on Twitter as another member of Closer, but we haven't met him within the game story yet. So, the part everyone's waiting for. How's the gacha? Well, let's look at a little compilation of my pulls, shall we? And spoiler alert, either I'm really lucky or the gacha is just that good. In reality, it's a bit of both. The odds of pulling a 5-star is 3% for 5-star characters and 5% for 5-star weapons, which is significantly higher than most gacha games, at least the ones I've played. However, there's no 50-50 or 5-star guarantee, and I know that because I got a 5-star weapon and a 5-star standard character before I got Reno. You are guaranteed a 4-star or higher character, not weapon, every 10 pulls on each specific banner, but that guarantee has a 97% chance of being a 4-star character or a 3% chance of being a 5-star character. Most 5-star characters have about a flat 0.28 percentage rate, and 5-star weapons have a flat 0.66 percentage rate, while the rated up limited character and equivalent weapon, in this case Reno and his gun, each have a 1% chance. So how was my luck? In 53 pulls on Reno's pickup banner, I got the 5-star standard machine gun, 5-star Soshido, and since I already picked him for free, it was his Ascension 1, Narumi's 5-star standard weapon, Reno's weapon, and Reno's Ascension 1. 6 5-stars in 53 wishes. Not bad if I do say so myself. Beyond that, at the moment there are 4 current banners within the game. Reno's rated up banner, 2 special banners, and the standard banner. The special banners are paid, with one being a week-long banner for 1 million downloads that guarantees getting a 5-star character within a 10 pull, and a special banner for, I guess, the length of the patch, which also guarantees a 5-star character within a 10 pull. Finally is the standard banner. This is exactly how it is in every other gacha game. You get a decent amount of free pulls for standard banner in early game, so it's a nice way to try and get the 5-star standard characters and their weapons. I think if there's one thing that bothers me with the gacha system in this game, it's the fact you can't use crystals to buy gacha tickets. Like, you know, in Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, you can use Primo Gems or the Jades to buy pulls. You can't do that in this game. Or if you can, I haven't been able to find it, and I looked everywhere, so it's either not in the game or intentionally hidden. Or I'm stupid, which we do know is true, but I don't think I'm that stupid. You can either use 150 crystals to get single pulls, 1500 crystals to get a 10 pull, or use the tickets in either single or 10 pulls. Those are your options. As for my luck on the standard banner, in 93 pulls, I only got Mina, so I guess my luck is hit or miss. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, you also get a 5-star standard character of your choice for free. I obviously chose Soshido. Are we surprised? Moving along, let's do a tour of different parts of the game. When you open up the game, you'll see your home screen, and of course mine is Soshido. You get wallpapers after completing the various stories, which is a fun little addition. Starting from the bottom panel, and skipping Expedition for now because that gets a section of itself, up first we have the Character tab. Obviously this is where you can level up characters, their skills, change and level up weapons, so on and so forth. Each character has 6 ascension stages, which you can unlock by obtaining duplicates of the character. As you saw earlier in my discussion of the gacha, I was able to get rank 1 of Soshido, so as you can see, you get different boosts for each ascension stage. For weapons, you can see the different weapons you've gotten either from the game or from the gacha. You can see the stats of the weapons, like characters, and you can ascend weapons with duplicates. Unlike characters, weapons can only be ascended 4 times. Additionally, characters have a specific weapon type they can use, so in the case of Soshido, it's the twin swords. After completing the first rank promotion after rank 15, you unlock Uniparts. I don't know if that's pronouncing it right, but I'm just going with that. Uniparts is this game's equivalent to artifacts or relics. You get the Uniparts by developing them with Uni material. At the moment, there are 6 Unipart sets, 2 per character team role, and based on the 6 Kaiju types currently in game. Per usual, the Unipart stats are RNG based, so good luck with that. Also, the one I have on Soshido isn't really recommended for him, but I'll fix that later. This is the first ones you get. One unfortunate thing with these two is the fact you can't unequip or switch the uni materials to other characters. So if you get one that might be perfect for another character, you're still stuck re-rolling, which is something you can do very easily, or leaving it on this character. We can't all be perfect, I guess. In the character screen, you can also see each character's skills. Characters have 5 skills that can be leveled, and 3 passive skills that are unlocked after ascending the character's level. For the skills that can be leveled up, you have have the normal attack, combat skill, ultimate, follow-up skill, and their primary passive skill. Additionally, you can see each character's weapon type, plate type, and team role. So for example, 4-star Soshido is a supporter with a slash plate physical attribute, 5-star Kaiju 6 Reno is an attacker with both shooter physical attribute and ice elemental attribute. Returning to the home screen, the next tab is Squad Setup. This is where you organize your teams. You can have up to 10 pre-made teams at any time that you can switch to with the arrows on either side. And yes, you can have both the 4- and 5-star variety of a character on the same team. Did someone say Soshido only? As I mentioned before, your team is split into 2 battle units, Position 1 and 2, and Positions 3 and 4. This is primarily utilized with follow-up attacks or support and defender roles. The third tab is, of course, the shop. This is where free-to-play goes to die. I didn't mention this in the gacha portion, but I have not spent a single dime on this game. So far, at least in the beginning, the game is pretty generous. But a lot of games tend to be generous at first and increasingly become less generous as the game progresses, so I'd say decide on your own whether to save or pull. Also, if you're going to spend money on the game, go to the official web store using the little button on the bottom left. It's more crystals per dollar. I don't know why, probably reduces app store fees for them or something, but I figured I'd point it out. In the shop, you can find both paid and free panels. You can see all the different paid bundles, crystal packs, etc. When you pull a 4 or 5-star character or weapon, you get encounter stones, and this is where you can exchange them. Also, you can exchange for pulls, but well, I already used those. In weapon exchange, if you get a 5-star weapon you don't want, you can disassemble it and get a weapon exchange crystal. I'll show that now. I got this machine gun, and I don't have the 5-star character who primarily uses this weapon. Sure, I could keep it in case I do get her, but I could also get it again in the future. Besides, more importantly, I want Soshido's 5-star weapon. So I can select disassemble, then the 5-star gun, and if I disassemble it, I'll get 1 exchange crystal and some 4-star weapon level up material. It also asks you twice if you want to disassemble 5-star weapons, 3 times if you include unlocking it first, so no worries on accidentally doing it. Now we have our crystal, so let's return to the store. And there we go, we've exchanged it for Soshido's twin swords. You get 1 exchange per weapon type per month, so don't expect to immediately get Ascension rank 4 of a weapon just by exchanging. You can also purchase materials with credits, with a monthly limit of course. Unipart resources can be obtained, well, actually, I don't know where I got these. I'm assuming you get them from re-rolling Uniparts. Meanwhile, the Proof of Valor and Emblem of Defense are earned from completing levels and gaining stars in the Fierce Battle area, which we'll go over, same with Expedition. The next tab on the bottom panel is the Gacha tab, which we've already gone over. So moving past that is the training, special requests, and the main story. Let's start with training. Training is where you can go to battle and obtain materials needed to build characters. The first tab is basic materials, where you can obtain manuals for character levels, Kaiju might for weapon level up, and credit, which is just currency. Role material is the material needed for leveling up skills or ascending characters of specific roles, so either attacker, support, or defender. Each training group has a specific level of difficulties, and the higher the difficulty, the better the drops. Additionally, and my personal favorite, is once you complete a specific difficulty level with all 3 objectives, you can skip and just insta-run it. Going back to the tabs, the next tab is Honju Neutralization. Here you get materials needed for higher ascensions, as well as other drops. Also, I hate the spider type one. I will be seeing it in my nightmares. Attribute material is used for specific weapon ascension as well as character skill level up. Identified Kaiju Neutralization allows you to refight numbered Kaijus that you face either in the story or memories and obtain medals, which are for higher skill level up, but you can only fight any of them 3 times per week. Finally, the Unit Material tab allows you to fight Honju and earn the material needed to develop Uniparts. Back to the home screen, let's move on to special requests. These are little unvoiced missions and battles that you can participate in to get materials and crystals, basically like world quests. Before we go into the story tab, let's look at the menu on the far right. First, we have missions, which are just your daily missions where you can earn rewards. Pretty standard. Up next is the Defense Force Pass, which is this game's battle pass. You can complete both weekly and seasonal missions, earn points, and earn rewards for each level. Again, standard. Third is the messages. In the messages, your point of view is Kafka. Some messages introduce the special requests, but most of them are just fun little chats that get you 20 crystals each. Of course, the largest part of the game is story. Here you can progress the main storyline with Closer. Currently, there are 3 parts: the prequel/tutorial, Chapter 1, and Chapter 2. I will be honest, these do not take a significant amount of time. I finished the main story without skipping through things in about 5 or 6 hours, over the course of a couple days, I swear. However, they posted on Twitter that Chapter 3 will release on September 8th, so I don't know how frequently they're updating, but it seems like they're attempting to, at least for now, go somewhat slowly to follow along with the anime canon. Beyond the standard main story, there are also side story options. First are memories, which allows you to replay canon material from the series. Currently, there are 4 memories, which I'm saving to do later, so it only shows 1. However, based on the opening loading screen and the identified Kaiju Neutralization, I'm assuming the second one is Soshido vs Kaiju number 8, and then the fights versus Kaiju number 10. Again, I haven't played these yet, so I can't really give an honest review on them. Finally, in the story tab is character stories. These are little one-shot style stories about the different 5-star characters. I've only played Soshido's obviously, so I can only speak to his, but it was a non-manga side story. It didn't have any battles, but it was fully voiced, and I personally liked it because it was a way to continue on the stories of some characters. It's a bit similar to the B-side manga, if any of you have read that. It was less background of the characters and more just similar side stories that help build the character themselves. Returning to the home screen, on the left-hand side we have the events. Right now there are 2 battle events, 1 trial event, and 3 gift events. First is the Beginner's Guide. This is a multi-chapter mission book. Think Adventurer's Handbook missions in Genshin Impact, where you can complete various missions and get rewards. When you complete all the missions on a specific stage, you get more rewards, and if you clear all stages, you'll be able to get Ascension 6 of Kafka. Next is the Fierce Battle area. Currently there are only the permanent stages, which I guess implies that there will be limited stages in the future. It's a game mode that allows you to battle progressively more difficult levels and gain rewards through clearing the objectives. You can see on the right-hand side that the levels turn purple. Those are levels that require 2 teams to beat. Trial Battle is pretty universal. It's a chance to try out the rated up character, gain some crystals, and decide if you want to pull for them or not. Or if you're a completionist like I am, you'll probably pull regardless. Moving on, the second battle event is the Raid Battle. This is essentially the closest we get to co-op in the game right now. In this event, every player works together to take down, in this case, Kaiju number 1. Using raid tickets, which are free and get replenished at every server reset, you battle the Kaiju with the goal of doing as much damage as possible within 5 rounds. And you can also gain rewards for completing battles. To me, it's a fun way just to see how much damage you can get because the support effects go crazy. The last 2 events are pretty self-explanatory. One is for 1 million downloads, and one is just the general beginner gifts. You get gacha tickets for each day you log in up to 7 days. That's it. If you've ever played a gacha game, minus Genshin Impact, they're allergic to this, you've seen this event. Finally, let's look at the upper corners. In the top left is your player rank. When you do the story, training, or missions, or basically most things, you earn XP and can increase your character rank. At what looks to be 15 level intervals, you do a promotion battle to ascend your player rank, which also unlocks higher level trainings, higher level character and weapon levels, and other aspects. On the upper right hand side, we have the mail, which again is self-explanatory. I can't show you the mail rewards you'll get though. For the 850,000 pre-registrations, every player got 1,000 crystals, 100,000 credits, a 4-star Mina, a 4-star Soshido, which means everyone gets them at Ascension 1, and 20 standard gacha pulls. For 2 million downloads, we got 3 standard pulls and 5 stamina jelly, which replenishes the stamina you use to do training. I don't remember if I mentioned that yet. For 1 million, it was 5 standard pulls, as well as another 1,000 crystals for the game reaching number 1 on download charts, and finally 100 crystals for issue resolution. So in total, 2,100 crystals, 2 4-star characters, and 28 standard banner pulls. Not bad to start. Last but not least, well, actually it's second to last, but like I said, Expedition is a section of itself, we have the, well, other category. Here you can see your profile, your favorite characters, standard stuff. I don't know when this will be used though, because they don't refer to you by your name in the stories or in messages, and there's no co-op. Anyways, next is achievements. Some of the achievements actually unlock messages and special requests, which is a fun little bonus. We also have the storage, where you can see your character materials, your weapons, and then other stuff. There's also synthesis, where you can make artifacts or convert materials to other types, but I feel like that's also kind of universal. Now let's go over the thing that I'm probably going to get the most addicted to, expeditions. I'm going back in time a little to the tutorial of this because it's long and I think it explains the whole thing the best. Expeditions are a mini game within the Kaiju number 8 game. You start with Suited introducing the game to the Defense Force's number 1 gamer, Narumi. Suited shares with Narumi that she's developed a simulation game that improves training. He doesn't believe her, so after she strokes his gamer ego a bit, he agrees to try it out. The game is relatively straightforward. You're a captain, and you're in charge of commanding the defense force while they neutralize Kaiju. When they do, you earn currency. You also get currency by doing the missions, which is essentially just tapping when the time runs out on each tier. If you played the shop simulator on the last Honkai Star Rail anniversary, it's basically that. As your currency goes up, you can either enhance your units, recruit more units to bolster your defenses, or enhance the missions to earn more each interval. You also unlock additional missions the further distance you go in the expedition, but the Kaiju also get tougher the further you go. In the first round of the tutorial, you die pretty much immediately. Narumi obviously is not thrilled. However, with the completion of the expedition, you get rewards in the form of expedition points and command currency. Expedition points can be exchanged in the shop, whereas command currency has its own shop within the expedition game. In that shop, you can buy playable characters to deploy as a unit. This tutorial gives you exactly enough in the first round to buy Kikoru before sending you back for another expedition. Expeditions also give you credits and staminas over a fixed interval, which I think is pretty cool. In the second round, thanks to Kikoru, we make it much further, being able to unlock far more in the expeditions. When you reach 15 kilometers, you get another mission, so you can get even more currency. You also unlock Command, which lets you unlock and level up various boosts to assist the units in battle, and the further you go, the more you can unlock. Every so often, in around 50-kilometer intervals, you come across a boss kaiju. When you defeat the bosses, you get loot, which is a permanent boost for all future expeditions. This round we made it to 85 kilometers, and got swiftly overwhelmed. This time though, we get full access to the expedition shop. Here you can see the units you can unlock with the Command currency, as well as mission optimizations you can unlock. Personally, I think my priority will be trying to save for automation for the missions. There's also deployment prep, which has various other enhancements, and dimensional crystals, where you can use crystals to unlock boosts, Reno, or Soshido. And, well, you know exactly what I did. And that's it. That's Expedition. If you leave the expedition for a while, you do, over time, get a fixed amount of currency, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It helps you get a little bit further at least. I personally really like it, but I also really love side games in general, so it's right up my alley. Now, I've shared the different aspects of the game, I've played through the currently released story, as well as some of the events and other side missions. So, what are my thoughts? Honestly, I went into this with no expectations. I've tried out other anime IP gacha games in the past and rapidly lost interest. However, I really enjoy this game. Despite the Kaiju number 8 manga being over, it gives a great opportunity to expand on and grow the universe of the series through a canon parallel story. Or we can just pretend it's canon like I will. I saw so many people saying that because the manga ended with under 200 chapters, there's no way for this game to continue long term. And while no, I don't expect this game to have the longevity that say Fate or Genshin or Honkai have, I don't think it's necessarily true to say this game is a dead man walking. Without spoiling, the manga ends in a way that does leave room for more story to be told. Whether that means a future sequel that the game can follow, or the game taking a future original story route, I think there's plenty of potential for the game to continue. However, that will entirely depend on how the company making the game decides to move, as well as obviously the author's stance on it. The company itself has a reputation that unfortunately precedes it, and has discouraged a lot of people from giving the game a chance. And it definitely doesn't help that the game has kind of started on a rough foot, with the Steam version being assumed to be releasing at the same time as the mobile game, just for it to last minute be, oh, it's coming. Eventually, alongside being unable to play on emulators, and some issues with certain phones having freaky graphics. Not to mention, those who give the game a chance are avoiding putting any money into it, for fear of a sudden end of service announcement if the game doesn't do well, or even if it does do well. Like I said, the reputation of the company really does precede it. If the company can prove it will stick with the game and gain consumer trust, be it through showing the story has potential to outlast beyond where the manga ended, or through fun varieties of characters for future banners to encourage people to want to grind or spend money, I think it has the potential to be really successful. I genuinely hope it can be. I really enjoyed playing, and whether or not this video does well, I will definitely continue to play it in my free time. Kaiju number 8 is probably my favorite series at the moment, and has been for quite a while now. To me, this game feels like a really cool chance to expand on the in-series universe that was left a little mysterious within the manga, where kaiju come from, how the kaiju situation is in other nations, what happens after the manga ended. The possibilities really are infinite. Let's just hope the game developers see it that way too. Thank you all so much for sticking around to the end. I know this is different from my usual Genshin content, but I have been keeping tabs on this game for a while now, waiting for its release, so I really wanted to share my reaction and thoughts. Though, I don't know how much of a reaction this is as much as me discussing the game itself. Hard to share reactions when I have to play it on my MacBook mirroring my phone. Hopefully they can get the game on Steam soon so I can potentially record challenges with the game or similar in the future. A special shout out to my channel members, thank you all so much for your continued support. Regularly scheduled Genshin content will return with my next videos, but if you're new here and want to see me talk more about this game or other gacha games, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which games you'd like to see me try out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time.